Hi, this is Tisch Aitken, and it is May 27th, 2022. If you could please subscribe to my channel, I would really appreciate it. And there is so much happening, and this last 6 weeks have been really emotionally intense. The eclipse season has brought a lot of surprise endings for people and loss, unfortunately. We had a total lunar eclipse in the sign of Scorpio, which is the sign of death, among other things. It also is a financial sign centered on debt and taxes and credit and joint resources. And it's a very psychological sign about wounds and painful issues that have not been dealt with. And there was a solar eclipse on April 30th that was in its exaltation, because the moon does love being in Taurus, but it was coupled with Uranus, the planet of surprise and chaos, and brought a lot of unexpected change, and in some cases really lucky opportunities, because that was a very creative chart that actually did have some good potential. Venus and Jupiter were conjunct in Pisces, where they love to be, but that Uranus shock value brought a lot of chaos for many too. And in the midst of the eclipses, Mercury retrograded on May 10th, but that was the day that Jupiter, the planet of expansion, entered the cardinal fire sign of Aries. And Jupiter does expand whatever it comes into contact with, good or bad. And in this case, expanding the anger and the rage. And Mars is the modern ruler of Aries. It is the ruler of Aries. And it represents passion and taking action. It represents work and courage. But it also rules guns and ammunition and anger and violence at times. And Mars entered Aries on May 24th, where it will transit until July 5th. And there have been quite a few shootings of recent. The worst, I mean, they're all terrible, obviously, but with children involved, and Aries is the sign of the child. It's the first sign of the zodiac. 19 children killed and 2 teachers in Texas. That is horrific, and that's the day that Mars entered Aries that day. It was at the final degree of Pisces, which can be a degree of misery. It's the final degree of the zodiac, and it's a fixed star known as Shiat, which is at 29 degree of Pisces, feeling lost, dealing with mental illness. And then right after that, the moon entered Aries in the late afternoon, and Jupiter entered, well, already was in Aries. Mars entered Aries at 7:17 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time on the 24th, and met up with the moon and with Jupiter, expanding that very Mars-like energy. And for all of us to be aware that we got a preview of the age of Pisces, which deals with mental illness, among other things, deals with depression, deals with escapism and addiction. And I think that'll be a huge theme for all of us when we approach the age of Pisces, which will begin on March 7th of next year, when Saturn leaves the sign of Aquarius and enters Pisces, where it'll be for approximately 3 years. And, we had 5 points transiting in the sign of Pisces at the end of April, right before the eclipses, bringing in a lot of creativity and magic, but also a lot of people were slipping. I noticed they were feeling depressed. Some people fell off the wagon and relapsed. Some people were feeling suicidal. Naomi Judd committed suicide on the weekend of the solar eclipse. And that is going to be something we're all going to need to deal with more, because obviously this is, with the Aries energy, the rage and the anger is an extension of the mental illness. And this is something that we are not going to, we can't avoid. We have to deal with this. And it's been such a turbulent time. So recognizing that this weekend, Mars is newly in the sign of Aries. It's a holiday weekend in the United States. And, Jupiter in Aries, Jupiter's transiting in Aries until October 28th. And then it will re-enter the final degrees of Pisces. from October 28th through December 20th, when it returns to the sign of Aries through May 17th of next year. Expand through courage and passion and taking action. It can expand the, people being more impulsive and reactive and flying off the handle. And Mars is now newly in Aries. It'll be in Aries until July 5th. And my concern is that there are going to be a lot more shootings this summer with this energy, and a very fiery energy. So finding ways, healthy ways to get out that energy, whether it's exercising or, I'm not saying for mental illness, that sounds ridiculous, but you know what I mean, for yourself, if it's in a more, a much milder way, but you feel like you're going off the handle with people, dealing with healthy ways of releasing that anger, that pent up energy that each of us has during a difficult time. And Venus, the planet of love and beauty, squared Pluto, the planet of death and regeneration, the ruler of the sign of Scorpio, at 2:29 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time early this morning on May 27th. And that can be a power struggle that can bring endings conceivably in romantic and financial partnerships, or just bring, definitely a power struggle and combative tone to it. And then the moon meets up with Uranus in Taurus over the weekend tomorrow at 9:50 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. The moon does love being in Taurus. It's exalted there. But again, it's with Uranus. There could be some unexpected twists and turns tomorrow morning. Try to go with the flow. And then Venus, the planet of love, beauty, and value, enters the fixed Earth sign of Taurus on May 28th at 10:46 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, where it will transit until June 22nd. And that is lovely energy, thank God. Venus loves being in Taurus. We have less Aries energy in the sky because right now there are quite a few points, including Venus, which changes signs tomorrow. So that's a good thing. And that brings a much more creative, loving, just a nice energy, listening to music, good food, good wine, creative pursuits, gardening, very much around earth and planting. And so that's a nice energy. Mars meets up with Jupiter, the planet of expansion, on Sunday, May 29th at 6:31 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time. And that is an aspect of good luck generally. But again, Jupiter can expand the Mars energy. So being conscious that Aries energy is very strong this weekend. So, if people are being fiery, you can control yourself. You can try to temper the energy, but that might be around all of us, that energy. And then the new moon occurs on May 30th at 7:30 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time at 9 degrees and 3 minutes of the mutable air sign of Gemini. That officially ends eclipse season. Although if you've really been hit by an eclipse, if it hit a point in your chart, or you've experienced major change or major loss or even a major beginning, obviously that's not going to subside immediately. But on the collective, the new moon or the full moon that follows the eclipses, which always come in pairs, that officially ends eclipse season. So that's good news, because this is the heaviest eclipse season I have witnessed in a long time. Maybe when the eclipses were in Pisces almost about 8 or 9 years ago, I can't remember, but this has been pretty hellacious and a very psychological level for many. Obviously the violence, the loss, it's been very, very painful. And yes, I have seen some great opportunities. I don't want to say that I haven't. I mean, that new moon, a couple of friends did have some great new things come in, but in the big picture, I think it's been a tough time, realistically. So this new moon has Cancer ascendant, therefore the moon rules the chart, and the new moon falls in the house of spirituality and dreams and empathy, really tuning into that energy, which we all need to. It's at 9 degrees and 3 minutes of Gemini. The new moon is a time to set intentions, plant new seeds, do the law of abundance. I have an article about the energy right now and about the new moon in the community section on YouTube, and you can read the instructions for the law of abundance. You date the check for May 30th, where it says pay to the order of. You print your full name. Where you would normally print the dollar amount, you print paid in full. And where you normally would sign your name at the end of the check, you print the law of abundance. And that brings in a lot of prosperity and abundance in many different forms. And in this new moon chart, there's a lot of emphasis on the 10th house of career and life direction. That's where the Aries energy is, about using that passion to get things going, because each of us has to keep moving ahead. Mars and Jupiter are conjunct and hopefully bringing good fortune in pursuing your endeavors, but a lot of emphasis in the house of friends and community and groups. And we are in the new age of Aquarius until March of next year. And this is a time to heal through community. We need each other. And Venus is newly in the sign of Taurus, where it loves to be. Uranus, the great awakener, the planet of brilliance and chaos, but ingenuity and innovation. Pallas Athena, the goddess of wisdom. The north node of karma, where you're meant to go. And Mercury, the planet of communication, which will station direct on June 3rd at 26 degrees and 5 minutes of Taurus, triggering the recent total lunar eclipse, how you can process the messages and all that's occurred recently to proceed ahead. And definitely work with this new moon in Gemini. Write down, be more specific, write down your intentions, say them out loud. It's very much a sign about communication. And I wish you all a lot of luck. It's been a really tough time. And I'm offering a phone special right now, a post-eclipse special for $65. You can, it's an hour reading that I tape and I send afterwards. You can email me on justyourluck1104@gmail.com, and I will give you more information. But thank you so much, and good luck, and hang in there, and definitely work with the new moon energy, and know that the weekend has a little bit of volatility. You know, Mars, Jupiter, Moon, Uranus energy on Saturday, Venus squaring Pluto today, the Friday the 27th. So I decided to work this weekend, so won't get as much drama. All right, take care. Thank you.